This is a Headgum podcast.
Welcome to Perfect Person, the show where I'm perfect and you're a person. It's the call-in show that's going to give you the flawless materials that are going to ascend you to the ultimate level of perfection that you really deserve. Because this world, has got all sorts of stuff in it. And I'm willing to parse through the onion.
I just wish I could convey to the listeners how little Miles knows what he's going to say before he says it. Like, if you stare at his mouth, you can really tell.
You can tell that my mouth is not premeditating my words.
No. For case in point, it uses the word premeditating there.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Like, it makes sense.
It makes sense, but it's like
right.
it's like a chat GPT. It's like I'm just using predictive. I'm using predictive language to fill my sentence, but there's ultimately not much substance there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and for the perfect thing I did this week.
I was gonna say, don't you have like a format here that you're supposed to?
Yeah. Oh, you know what it was? I thought I decided that I'm going to start getting into reading.
Okay, are you kidding me?
No, but see, it's because Rainie really flourished in the reading space within the last couple
weeks. Can we
weeks.
not say reading space?
In the reading space, in the book space.
What are you talking about, Will?
I don't like.
Can we not say the reading? You
I don't
think
like
I'm a reader?
I don't like space used as like, oh yeah, in the TikTok space. Like,
Wow.
But you do think I'm a reader.
Well, I know that you read one book recently.
So
what? So what? So then I think Rainie's a reader. And by the way, I think that Will has this thing where Will thinks that he's like not part of the, and for lack of a better term, like himbo bimbo space. And you are.
What does that mean?
It means that,
I honestly have no idea.
You think you're better than Rainie? Rainie read a book. Rainie's a reader.
I don't think I'm better than Rainie at all. I think it's great that she read a book and made a TikTok where I congratulated her for reading a book.
Yeah.
She's really giving a lot of mileage out of this one book.
Well, I think that Rainie should be celebrated for reading, much like I should be celebrated for deciding that I'd like to read.
Yeah, I'd like to read. At some point, you are going to.
Well, I read 50 pages of the book Severance by Ling Ma.
Oh yeah, great book. I
made it 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I'd like to finish.
I really like Severance. If you borrowed it from the library, I can lend you my copy.
Sorry. If you borrowed it from the library, I can. No. I want to dive into what you just said. If you borrowed it from the library, I can lend you my copy.
Okay. Let me
what does that presume? Do you think that I got it from the library and I ran out of time?
Yes.
And that I need to borrow your copy to finish the book?
That is, well, my theory is that, like, maybe you all have this book, whatever, but my theory is that you checked it out from the library 6 months ago, read 50 pages, and then had to return and ran out of time.
I was like, oh, man, I got to return it to the library.
Because you don't want to rack up late fees.
That's not what happened, but...
Yeah. But I do actually have a book rec for you.
You do?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called Out of the Easy, and it's the one book that I read.
I was just going to say. Oh, you have a recommendation. I wonder what it could be.
It was really, really good, and I think you would like it a lot.
Okay, cool.
It's easy to read.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's a page turner.
Okay, that's good. Is
Like
it a mystery?
Yeah, there's a little mystery.
Okay.
I mean...
I'm into that.
Forrest Hearn does die.
Is it a spoiler?
No, that's like the first page.
Okay, good. Spoiler for the first page of
Out of the Easy.
Out of the Easy. Well, you know what I'll say is I recently, I was actually talking to my parents about how you started to read because
you sound like you're talking about a child.
Rainie got into reading. Well, I was at the dinner table with my lovely wife, my baby, and my parents, and we were talking about books because I feel like I want to get back into the reading space. Yeah. And I think a common misconception is that much like there's trashy movies, trashy TVs, there are trashy books.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have to be smart to like a book.
Of course. The most popular things that are sold are romance novels, which the whole thing is
Do
for
not
fun.
even come at me about romance novels.
I'm not. I'm saying
Literally, they can be very, very deep. Just because you don't think romance is an intellectual sport.
Get him!
Okay, number one, do you think romance is an intellectual sport?
Yes.
Absolutely. The art of love, Will. Maybe if you focused less time on having a smart opinion, you'd find love.
I don't think that's my problem.
What do you think your problem is?
Well, and by the
Oh, I
way,
got so
and to
many.
get into it, because obviously we will get to the calls because this is a call and advice show that's
Yes.
going to get you there. But
The phone lines are ringing.
Will,
off the
I
hook,
wanted to
et
do a
cetera, et
mental
cetera.
check-in because I'm looking at the forecast and you've been acting erratic.
What do you mean?
Well, first of all, you screamed at me in the edit bay 2 years ago.
Okay, that's 2 years ago. That was during a stressful pandemic-related time.
Was it 2 years ago?
What was it
Anyway,
about? What were you screaming?
So essentially, I brought up to Will, and this was like, I felt like everyone in the edit bay was confused because Will sort of had an erratic reaction to something I said, which was, oh, I think that like, yeah, Marvel movies are fine, and like people dunk on, like the people who dunk on them think that they're like not smart enough, but like whatever, it's popcorn, let people like
Yeah.
what they like. And Will sort of,
He
for
got
lack of a better
heated?
term, had a nervous breakdown.
No, that's not what happened.
About me saying like, I don't know, like, you know, it's not that they're the smartest film, and Will had a
Yeah.
whole thing about how you should hold art to a higher standard.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought that was classist. Go ahead, Will.
Number one, I don't think it's classist to have artistic taste, but I also don't think, like, I'm not here to be like prescriptive about it. It just bums me out, honestly,
Yeah.
that the main kinds of movies that get made are like in this sort of cookie cutter mold. That's the only thing that bothers me.
We love him. We love to see Will. Now, Will, tell me about your diet recently.
What
Is it sort of salmon mostly? No?
No, I would say that my diet in the last like week hasn't been super healthy. I've been ordering a lot of takeout, and I'm attempting to get back into the cooking habits. Of course,
Cooking
when
space.
The cooking.
I'm attempting to get back into the cooking space.
And what have you been making to get you back into the cooking space?
Well, I had my brother over for dinner on Saturday, and I made a delicious carbonara.
Carbonara?
And roasted broccolini.
Very good.
You don't like broccolini?
No, I love it. I just the thought of you roasting up a broccolini. No, so you roasted up a broccolini.
Well, it's not a I mean, yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
And I was really thrilled about that meal, and then I proceeded to like order takeout for a week. So, you know,
Yeah. Rainie, what you been cooking lately?
Well, yesterday this is actually huge. This is a huge
This is big.
hint.
Big update.
I got a chopper. I got one of those things that you just pop, and then it slices the radishes right on up.
Oh.
like a
you
slap chop.
You got a slap chop.
Yes. Yeah. And it makes them so tiny and so satisfying. So this is what I made. Cilantro. I get confused between radishes and turnips, but whatever is like the fresh one, not the root vegetable.
Turnip, I believe,
Yeah.
a radish is wet,
Yes. So it's that one.
and a turnip is like a potato.
A radish is what they give you on the tacos and taco stands in LA. There's like the
Yeah.
sliced radish.
So radishes. So radishes.
None of us know, but yeah.
Yeah. We all said something, and none of it is right.
None of it was confident
Yeah, yeah.
enough to be correct.
Yeah.
Mangoes, avocado, and kale.
That's really nice.
And it was delicious. I will say, not enough calories.
Not enough calories. So you had to
No.
add sort of a protein powder.
Yeah, I had to add some tempura shrimp from Costco. Frozen.
I thought Miles was gonna hit the record scratch.
Yeah, it wasn't really that good. I can't recommend, but I did see on TikTok that Costco now has sashimi for $20, a pound of sashimi.
Oh, and Costco tends to have good fish.
Yeah.
And Will's always said that.
I have.
Speaking of fish, so Will, you're getting into the aquarium today.
Yes, I'm going to the Long Beach Aquarium.
And are you excited? Because the last time I went to an aquarium, I felt so inspired afterwards that I nearly
Yeah.
wrote a novel.
Yeah, I am excited. I think that I haven't been to that many aquariums in my life, and it's like I just think it's a fun thing. One fun bit you can do if you're at the aquarium is like pretend all the fish are high. That's like a fun bit I used to do when I was like 14. I'd be like, oh, look at this guy.
Were you smoking weed at 14?
No.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, Miles was like kind of a little bad boy.
You were in 8th grade, you were like,
In the freshman year of high school, I think, 8th grade, freshman year of high school, we
Smoking like stems and seeds out of an apple.
smoking like bad weed out of a newspaper, like toxic ink, like inhaling black India ink into my lungs
wow.
Yeah.
in a way that was probably harmful in the long term.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
But anyway, that sounds really fun. You're
Yeah.
gonna go pretend the fish are high.
Well, like they kind of look stoned in there is what I'm saying. Like if you haven't done this, but the next time you're at the aquarium or anything like it, just like imagine that the animals are like all doped up and you'll have a nice time.
The last time I went to an aquarium was with a very small child,
Well,
but it's very beautiful.
yeah,
I love little babies. We went to the Children's Museum. First of all, really, really fun. Like Children's Museum, I wish you could go
in
without
Denver.
a kid. Yeah. It's really
Can you
good.
not go without a kid?
I feel like it's creepy.
No.
Can you not go?
I'm gonna.
Sorry, Rainie. You can't go to the Children's Museum without kids because it's creepy.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're just an adult in the Children's Museum,
I don't think that's that crazy. I think that the nice thing about being an adult is that you can be like, I'm gonna go do this, and then you can be the weirdo, and like people might be like, she's a little weird. Why is she here by herself? But then they're gonna move along with their day.
Well, you got a season pass to the Children's Museum in LA. You're there every weekend.
I will when I had just a mustache briefly for a bit,
Yeah.
and I was like walking my dog around children's birthday parties in the park. I was very much like, I wonder what people think about me and my vibe.
And I also am curious, Will, and just to sort of.
You're clearly leading this somewhere very specific. So,
Well, I'm curious about the sunglasses inside right now. And I thought it was because you arrived, and again, it's 11:45, and having tooted that Zaza.
no, that's not right.
And because, mostly when you come and do the show on a Saturday, you have tooted the Zaza.
No.
And you come into the
The
studio and I call you out for it, and you're like, you giggle nervously because you know it's to be true.
Well, the one time you did that was so funny.
But you're wearing your sunglasses.
But I wasn't like really stoned. I just had gotten stoned that day.
We do have to do another Stoner Spectacular.
We really do.
We
yeah.
wanted to do the 420 actors on actors. Where we get all of our stoner friends around a table really stoned and just sort of interview each other.
Okay, well, if you do a 420 episode, I have got to be there. That's all I.
Of course.
I demand.
You're the number
it.
one stoner I know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But what is with the blue blocker shades? You're wearing them inside, and I'm a little worried about you.
Okay, well, I one thing is like it is fucking up my peripheral vision. So like when Rainie, right now I'm like looking right at fucking Miles's face, you know. And if if Rainie talks, I gotta like angle over. But with this glasses on, my peripheral vision's even worse. So I'm gonna take them off.
You're taking them off.
Yeah, they're off.
I didn't mean to harsh your sort of style and vibe because I kind of like that you were wearing them.
Here's the thing, like I lose my sunglasses and I'm trying to find a like cheap pair that is actually polarized that I like, and I think I might have found it with these ones.
But those they look nice, and I like that they're blue.
Yeah.
They're not blue blockers; they're blue.
Yeah. And now everything in this room looks crazy orange.
I bet
because I took them off. It's so orange.
I need the perfect person.
You need advice.
Do you have a conundrum?
I have a conundrum.
Okay. Really good stuff that you guys were able to sort of improvise that. That's not how you would shorten conundrum.
Conund.
How would you do it?
Conund. Conund.
Conund sounds better.
Conund.
But that's not.
Conund.
But do you say
Conrad.
I have a conundrum? Conundrum.
Will is
Conundrum.
such a boomer.
I have a conundrum.
It's like crazy.
Drum.
It's crazy how much of a
Yeah.
boomer Will is. Like for real.
I resent that. I would a boomer smoke weed every day?
Rainie, what's your problem you need solving before we get to the calls?
Yes. So last night I have a face mask on, and somebody knocks at our door.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, so my roommate goes to answer it. I'm sort of in the hallway. I'm listening, but I have a face mask on. And the person is like, first like, oh, like, is your heater broken? Because mine's broken. And we were like, no. Or my roommate was like, his name's Kevin. So Kevin's like, no. And then she's like, by the way, when you step late at night, it's really, really loud. And it like has knocked my fern plant down. And like sometimes I startle in awake.
What are you jumping on? Just bouncing on the floor?
This is not even the bad part. So I'm like listening and I'm like, okay, like that's a bummer. Then the guy to the right, so she's underneath us. The guy to the right pops his head in. He comes out and he's like, oh yeah, Rainie's a like stomping motherfucker.
Oh my God.
I know.
Wow.
But what's really weird about that is he DMs me all the time. Like he's so friendly to me. And like is always DMing me. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you like now?
Okay, I have a theory on this.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to hear the rest of Rainie's story.
Because so then I'm like, okay, well, like that's a lot. And I'm also like, why? How does he know it's me? So after she leaves, I'm like, well, how do you know it's me? Like, how does he know the difference between our steps? And Kevin was like, I really hate to say this, but like, I have noticed that you step really loud.
Are you? And whoa, that's in. Yeah.
I know. Can you imagine? So I'm just like, okay, 3 people are coming at me with this same complaint that I had no idea about.
So your roommate and your 2 neighbors, are being like Rainie steps loud.
Yeah.
Well, Rainie, I think that what we're gonna need you to do is do a casual walk within the studio.
We need to see a demo. But although you're wearing a Croc
I want you
sandal,
to walk from right there across.
I'll take off my sandals.
Take off your sandals. I don't know. Well, because shoes may muffle the sound. So be over there, and I just want you to walk
this is
across.
I don't know. We're gonna get our right information.
Okay, you know though, Rainie just walking over.
Oh, you're right. Now she's in her head about it.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievably
You're
loud.
muffling. I think you're muffling.
You're muffling.
Get into a zen zone where you're not muffling. Get into a zen zone. That I think you're still muffling. All right, Rainie, walk to the kitchen. As if you're walking to the kitchen, go across the room. Go that to the Lysol.
Pretty loud.
Oh, that's pretty loud.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Now, so here's the question.
I mean, we did a scientific study just
We did a
now,
scientific
and
study.
We've determined you walk loud.
I will say, I've obviously witnessed you walk a lot because we work a lot together, but I've never noticed that your feet are loud.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's something that I have thought about even one time.
Not even once.
Of like, wow. So, but I will say it is tough if 3 people are essentially all corroborating this.
Yeah.
It probably means that in some capacity, like maybe you have an old floor, but I don't know how much of it is on you. Like, maybe Kevin is actively stepping like really quietly. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I don't want to blame you for this. The reason I think your other neighbor popped in though to be like Rainie stomps loud is that, like you said, he DMs you all the time. He's got a crush on you. He thought, here's an opportunity for me to wedge my way in, and maybe she's there and I can have a conversation with her.
I think that that's true maybe about that neighbor.
Definitely.
He's DMing you all the time, or is he responding to you DMing?
No, he's DMing me. But what's weird is he has a girlfriend, but I call her girlfriend, and then he's like, oh yeah, my girl. He never says girlfriend, he says my girl. It's very weird. I don't know.
My girl.
My girl.
Now,
But they've been together a long time.
I mean, him DMing you all the time. What is he saying? What is he saying? Stuff like, hey, what's up? You up?
No, he's just responding to my story. He responds to every one of my stories.
Okay. Oh my God, Rainie. This guy obviously has a crush on you.
Yes. and the reason, and he heard, they're talking about Rainie's freaking monstrous feet.
No, but I'm like, okay, well now I'm
Now I
upset
gotta
with
pop
you.
in and be like, I gotta weigh in on this because he knows what your feet sound
Rainie's
like.
got big feet. I'd love to see him. Actually,
Am I allowed?
let's get those puppies out.
Am I allowed to make a joke about him like wanting to suck on Rainie's toes? Is that allowed? Okay.
Hey, Will. This is not the time.
You don't think sucking on
This
toes
is not
like
the safe.
objectively
This is
a
not
funny thing?
This is not the environment.
That's like
the
not
perfect
my
person
thing,
studio.
but some people
That's the
are
perfect
really
person
into that.
studio. This is not the time. This is not for your weird fetish shit to come out in the studio. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, my not my thing. I'm not into feet, but it is probably the most like common fetish.
You saying you're not into feet
It's really sketchy.
is sketchy.
I
and
honestly
no
don't
one
understand
And
it.
no one asked.
I
And no
don't-
one asked, and you were presenting that information.
Well,
I'm not
no,
into feet,
you
though.
accused me of it, so I'm
not into feet though. Like,
My point is, this guy wants to suck on Rainie's toes, and I think that that's tough. But I think you should also know. I guess it's good to have it pointed out. I don't think you should feel bad about this. I really don't think. I can't imagine you just like skipping through your apartment or whatever.
Here's what I think.
What do they have?
So-
how can it be that loud?
was it one person that was living underneath you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that person obviously
that person we have to believe?
That's your apartment. Honestly, though, like apartment build. That's the apartment building.
And like their
Yeah.
fern fell. I don't believe this.
I know, she like woke up startled. I mean,
That sounds like a structural problem with the apartment. The way I think you fix it though is you walk a little softer, or you get a little carpet.
that's what I'm thinking. And I'm sort of
your
thinking
room.
like, for example, these
those
shoes,
are
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
my Yeezys that I got from the $10 or less store.
Oh, are they Yeezys? They just kind of look like
They
a
just
Yeezy.
sort of look like Yeezys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that this could be a good option. I also Googled feet mufflers last night.
And what did you find?
Nothing good, really. It wasn't helpful. They didn't know. Google was like, I'm confused.
And one thing you could try is like maybe not like making wine in your apartment, like stomping
Making wine,
grapes, you know, like with your
like
feet.
a la I Love Lucy.
Or have you ever seen that famous internet clip of like the TV reporter making wine and then falling down and making a really funny noise?
It's a good, it's a great clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do love, my favorite answer whenever somebody's criticizing you is like, oh, they're probably in love with me.
Well,
That's
I think
like one of my
I think
favorite
one of your. I think the neighbor
exercises.
on your floor probably is.
And
Yeah.
also, it's just a weird choice to be like, oh, hey, you guys talking about Rainie's feet? Let me get in here.
That's what I mean. Like he's already like interested in this conversation, so he's like, let me pop in to weigh in on Rainie's feet. You know what I mean?
I agree
Yeah.
with that. So I think that, you got to get a feet muffler.
Yes.
Or a carpet.
Maybe cover your feet in rags while you're in your apartment. You know.
Or just try to walk softer.
Foam.
Foam.
Yeah, foam shoes. No, I do think I've been thinking very much heel toe.
I think it's good to.
Oh,
Like,
I think Toto. I'm confused about if you're trying to walk. No, hang on. You're trying to walk softly.
You're saying she needs to walk on her tippy toes around the apartment at all times.
Kind of. Like if you're worried about you making a lot of noise, you going conking, 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 or going tap, 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 tap. If you're going on your tippies, then you're probably going to make less noise.
Yeah, and if you stop practicing tap dance, that'd probably be good. Like anything of that nature.
I feel like I'm kind of a tippy walker in general.
Yeah.
And at night, because it just is quiet, I don't want to make too many sounds.
Well, you got a baby.
I got a baby, although that guy will sleep through anything. We were
Really?
watching that
That's
Strangler
nice.
show with Keira Knightley yesterday. Baby was dead asleep. Having cash allows me to live a lifestyle of self-care. And for that, cash is priceless. But for everybody else, you're going to want to save that cash with this special little tool that I use personally called Rocket Money. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills. All in one convenient place, baby. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forgot about, like that streaming service you bought to just watch one show on, or that free trial that you never even used. My main selling point for Rocket Money is that, baby, you betcha that the first month that I installed this and started paying for it, I saved way more than the initial cost of Rocket Money by canceling subscriptions that I completely forgot that I had. I had a streaming service. I had a website membership from something I didn't even use anymore. And you know that Rocket Money freaking canceled that stuff for me, all with a click of a single button. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want. Simply find the subscription you don't want and you press cancel. Rocket Money will cancel it for you. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/perfectperson. That's rocketmoney.com/perfectperson. If you want cash, run to rocketmoney.com/perfectperson. Anyway, the phone rings are ringing off the hook here. People who called 2 hours ago and they need advice.
I'm so excited.
So, obviously, we already know why you guys are qualified for the show. And if you like the show, it would really help if you freaking rated and subscribed it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and also turn on notifications on YouTube for new epis. And if you love the show, you can join us on Patreon, where there's extended versions of every episode, including this one, where we really got into it in a deep way about how Will was unbelievably late. The episode
That he pushed back.
Yeah, and I like.
And how Rainie was getting into reading. And if you want more of that exclusive gosh, join us on Patreon, where there's also exclusive episodes every single freaking goddamn week. And then without further ado, let's get into the phone calls.
Hi, Miles. I need to know how to make iced coffee at home. I spend so much money on iced coffee, and I just can't figure out why I can't make it taste good at home. And, yeah, that's it.
Rainie, you walked into the studio today talking about this, so I thought it was only relevant that we pick the call.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, should I do my thing now or should I wait for her?
Honestly, let's wait for her.
Okay.
Let's give her a call back because she's going to need to hear it from the horse's mouth. Sorry to call Rainie a horse.
Well, she's got those horse feet.
That's enough about Rainie's feet, Will.
Hello?
Hello. You called Perfect Person because you want to know how to make a little iced coffee at home.
I did. I do.
I'm here with Rainie and Will, and we're about to revolutionize the way you have that Java. Now, tell me about your conundrum.
Oh my gosh. Can I get back in my car first?
Yeah, get back in your car. Where are you at, girl?
I'm so sorry. I am at the thrift store looking at coffee mugs to make my delicious coffee in. But you're going to tell me how to make.
We love a thrift.
Wow. Was there any standouts?
Yeah, any like
Were there any
mugs?
funny ones?
Yeah.
Not funny, but I found one with whales on it, and I like whales,
That's really
so that's
cute.
cool for me.
Well, speaking of whales, Will's going to the aquarium after this.
Yeah, I'm going to the Long Beach Aquarium after this.
Yeah, so that's going to be
Hoping to see some cool animals.
Sick.
Yeah, maybe a whale. But tell me about your conundrum.
I love iced coffee. I spend lots of money on it, weekly, Starbucks, local coffee shops, etc. And I just don't understand why I cannot perfect it at home.
So
I want to ask
I don't
one
know what I'm
clarifying
doing wrong.
question here.
Yeah.
Are you ordering,
Okay.
because I've made iced coffee at home with a special iced coffee maker that my brother got me for Christmas, and then it was hard to clean, and I don't have it anymore. But the point that
What happened to it?
it was, I don't know. I gave it away in a move or something. I got rid of it.
You gave it away in a move?
Yeah, I probably put it in a Goodwill sack.
was
But
it like an espresso maker?
no, I don't need to get it. No, I'm getting so far
It was an
afield.
OXO Good Grips cold brew maker from the sound of it.
But basically, like the clear question I want to ask is a simple one, which is: do you want to make iced coffee or do you want to make cold brew? Because maybe what you're struggling to do at home is that you're not brewing the coffee cold, which is what makes it taste like sort of tangier and it tastes different. It has more caffeine. Like if you're just putting coffee on ice, that's iced coffee, but that will not be cold brew.
Hey, Will, great question, bud.
Okay. That could be my problem. What's in a latte, like an iced latte? Is that cold brew or is that iced coffee or is that neither?
So let me sort of and obviously I've talked about this in every venue possible, but an iced latte is milk and espresso, and that's really it. What makes it when it's iced, there's nothing done except for just adding milk to espresso. A regular latte is like frothy milk. Essentially, you froth the milk, you put it in the espresso. So if you want to make an iced latte at home, I think the best way for you to do this may be to do an AeroPress, which is sort of like a little plunger guy that makes a slightly more concentrated coffee, and it makes just a little bit of it, and then you add that milk, and you are essentially ready to rock. An AeroPress is a syringe that you're just like letting the coffee kind of steep, and then you push it through a filter, and it's really kind of a fun little process. It's usually pretty cheap too to get, but if you want to make an iced latte, that's what you're going to want to do. Now, the whole thing about an AeroPress too is it makes a little bit of hot liquid, and so the little bit of hot liquid is a little bit concentrated, and then you can put that on ice to make it like more diluted room temp or cold liquid. Then you're going to add that milky sweetness for the iced latte finish.
But if you want, the iced lattes you're going to get at a coffee shop are going to be milk and espresso. Yeah. And espresso machines are super expensive. So Miles is giving you a hack.
I'm giving you a life hack because I actually think that espresso machines, for the most part, are not for the average bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend described her ex
Here we go.
watching an hour-long video about like calibrating your espresso machine.
Yeah, I've done it. I've watched I've watched the videos. I've calibrated espresso machines. I used to work for a company calibrating espresso machines, and they're hot. They are. It's also like if you fuck up the calibration of an espresso machine, it can explode.
Yeah,
because they steam pressure. They hold pressure within like a chamber, and if that gets pierced, they will blow up.
And maybe you can aspire to owning an espresso machine, caller. Did you say your name? I hope I'm not forgetting it. But
would you like to remain anonymous? Because this question is too sensitive.
Yeah. I'll remain anonymous.
Okay.
That's fine.
All I'm saying is that like, in your adult life, if you're really into coffee, you can buy a fancy espresso machine at some point in your life. But what Miles is saying is absolutely accurate. Make an AeroPress, you put it in milk, you're going to get an iced latte experience.
What is an AeroPress?
It's
Here we go.
It's a product.
It's
a brand.
It's a brand, and I'm not spawned by them. But if they're listening, well, I'd love to take your cash. But it's essentially like a little syringe type of thing. There's all sorts of little coffee gadgets. Again, there's a million different ways to do this, but I think the AeroPress is like a nice little fun treat for you that's filling your specific need. You could always make hot coffee, put it in the fridge, let that shit cool down in a way, and you're gonna,
you can just put coffee over ice.
If you want, it's just you're gonna lose some of that flavor for a little bit of that wah-wah.
Yeah, but I will say I stand with you because I similarly, as I was saying, walking in. Hate making coffee. I would so much rather. To me, it's just so. It's tough for me because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be $4. And if you break that down, time, if your hour is worth $10 an hour, it's going to take me at least half an hour to make it.
It's going to take you half an hour to make one cup of coffee?
Rainie, I think that I can help you with a coffee setup that's not going to break the bank, that's going to be cheaper and more valuable for you. What type of coffee do you like to drink?
It's literally drip coffee, and I literally have a cone and filters. I don't have the coffee yet because I haven't bought that.
Yeah. So
it takes like 2 minutes.
Do you want to do a pour over, or would you rather make your own cold brew, which is actually really easy?
No, I do want a hot.
You want a hot?
I want a hot coffee.
Well,
black.
If you want a hot black, I think you're going to want to do a pour over. To me is a real simple, but even simpler than that, Rainie, is a French priest.
I used to have a French press in college because I thought that was the easiest.
Because a French,
you know what? Actually, Miles, that's a good idea.
Yeah. To French press is just sort of like you can let it ride while you're stomping around your apartment.
Only thing I don't like about a French press is the cleaning aspect. If you don't have a dishwasher,
God, I do.
This conversation, Rainie, by the way, if every day I could just talk about how to make coffee, I would be a happy man.
I've pitched you my show, right? That you're gonna love this. This is a show where you make coffee for people who don't like coffee.
Oh, I would fucking.
And it's just you behind an espresso bar forcing coffee on people who are like, I don't actually want this.
I would really love to do that. And I'd be like, what if I add molasses?
Yeah.
Would that be fun?
And you're like trying to spice it up, and they're like, no, I still don't like it.
Anyway, anonymous caller, we hope that this helps, and we're gonna let you get back to thrifting. But what you thinking?
I think what my problem is, after hearing you guys talk and speak all these fancy words I've never heard of before, is that I am trying to follow these hacks off of Pinterest from these women who don't actually know how to make iced coffee.
Classic, yep.
Yeah, that's classic. Classic internet sort of influencing gone wrong.
Yeah. It's such a slot machine, though, because every once in a while, they've really got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while they do, but it seems like every recipe I try, I'm like, this just ain't it.
Yeah.
So I think I just need to stop getting on Pinterest and listen to Miles. And Will.
And we vote, and that's going on a t-shirt.
Yes.
Stop getting on Pinterest and listen to Miles.
And then in a really small parentheses, and Will.
And before you go, let's just hear one honk because we know you're in your car.
Oh gosh. Let me roll down the window.
You can do a light one.
You just do a light honk.
Yeah!
All right. Thanks so much for calling in. You have a fantastic day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Wow. Getting that honk.
I'm really happy you did that because I wanted something to happen with the car thing as well.
My serotonin is filled.
Yeah, that was like a rush.
Can I share an unpopular opinion that I shared on my now defunct podcast, Hot Takes? Which
it depends because you share opinions sometimes and I have to cut them out.
I think honking is like only funny. Like I'm very rarely pissed off by a honk. I mostly think it's funny.
I think the threshold for a honk being funny or polite is a light tap.
Yeah.
If someone honks at me if I'm going,
I think that's funny.
This is light and funny. This is light and funny. Here's a honk that I don't like. I'm like, whoa, don't yell at me. Like, I understand that honk is at the same velocity.
Here's my thing. Sometimes people are doing like they're making an illegal left turn and they know they're making an illegal left turn. They're blocking traffic. In that case, I'm pounding that horn and they're going to know that what they're doing is illegal. I one time did this to somebody turning left in a gridlock zone where it's like illegal to turn 4 to 7, turn left. And he eventually gave up and moved on. He got tired of it. I was like, nah. Like, hey, you fucker, you got to move.
Can I tell you something? I think that illegal left turn, go for it.
I agree. I agree in general, but in rush hour, when you're blocking a whole lane,
that's troublesome.
It's troublesome.
Although, you know what happened recently is near my house, there's construction.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I can't make a left onto my street anymore. And it makes me fucking livid because also I can make a left and people can go around. And all of a sudden, people are like, you know what? And this is maybe the problem that I need to solve. My assumption is I've been living here for years. I'm going to make my left turn.
Yeah.
Even though technically there's a sign
Yeah.
for the last several weeks that says don't make a left here.
Yeah.
But people can go around, and I feel like
The
ultimately
grandfather clause. You've been there longer than
I've been
the
there
rule.
longer. And they can also go around. I'm not actually blocking traffic. There's no longer a left turn lane.
Right. So now they can't go around.
The bourgeoisie has taken my left turn lane.
They're building.
Because they're building some new bullshit.
Yeah.
Some fucking
That's
Chipotle
not your problem.
Max.
Yeah.
Chipotle Max.
A Chipotle Max for people to get the burrito bowls.
It's a TJ Maxx Chipotle.
Yeah, it's TJ Maxx meets Chipotle using Kohl's cash.
You can get like a fancy scrubber and a burrito in the same spot. Finally,
I kind of actually would love a burrito right now.
Yeah.
I had one last night.
We should order burritos and eat them live. All right, let's take another call here from someone that is trying to get themselves to be sexy on a dating app.
Okay.
Here we go.
My gosh.
Hi, Miles, and whoever is there, unless you're by himself. I don't know. I'm very indecisive, and so I'm going to give you two problems, and I'm going to give you the choice to which
Two
one
for
you
one.
want to help me with. The first is that I need some help doing my dating app bios because I'm not clever for them. And then the other one, if you so choose, is that I am in a wedding and there is a maid of honor in this wedding that is making everybody's life completely miserable. And I'm just wondering how to handle that because I will definitely be around this person for the foreseeable future after the wedding even, but she's just a pain in the ass. So anyways, if you want to help me, that would be great. Okay, bye.
This is a good call.
How do you market yourself so you're available to kiss French style and deal with a maid that is not a French style?
And that's slam poetry.
Yeah.
And that's on being a slam poet.
Would you say you're dominating the slam poetry space?
I'd like to be. 2024 is the year that I attempt slam.
I'd love to see.
I've been pretty busy with slam lately. But I guess
Hello.
Hi, you called perfect person because you need help telling people how freaking sexy you are on a dating app, and also because there's a maid of honor that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. Please help me.
Thank you for calling in. I'm here with Will and Rainie, the freaking wild crew. I was thinking actually, and maybe you have a special name. What's the name when we all do an episode together?
I thought you had a name before.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah, we'd have to go back and listen, I guess.
Wrecking Ball Crew?
Wrecking Ball Crew is something I said, which is because in the movie I Love You, Man, Jason Segel is like, oh, my friends from high school, Wrecking Ball Crew. But yeah, we need a fun little flirty name.
I mean, me and Will are from Denver, but you're not.
Denver Hose.
Den Hose and North Carolina Bro.
Let's
There
work
we go.
on it.
Denver.
Let's keep thinking about it.
Colorado. Dang.
Colorado damn.
Colorado Dangers.
In Colorado, they sell shirts that say Coloradical on them. How do you think? How does that grab you?
Coloradicals.
Yeah.
I'd rather it was something like, yeah, I don't like it. But I'd rather it was something fun and flirty like the freaking...
Twerkulators.
The twerkulators?
Yeah.
Like twerk and calculator?
Yeah.
The twerkulators, Will.
Let's move on to the question.
So tell us about your dating apps and your struggles, and then we're going to get to your maid of honor. We're doing a 2-for-1 special, and the beneficiary is you.
Oh my gosh. I love that for me. Wow. So I am on all of the apps. Like if there's an app that you are thinking of, I'm probably on it.
Sure.
And I just feel like that all the bios on there are kind of basic.
Yes.
And I just want to jazz it up a little bit. I don't know.
And now, so we're going to need to hear about you because obviously we're sort of copywriters. We're marketing agency.
We're Cupid's copywriters.
What's
That's
that?
We're
very
Cupid's
good.
copywriters.
Cupid's copywriters?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
a little gold star for you.
Hey, I might be late, but I can bring some juice.
Will
you know?
may have been late today, but he brought the thunder. Okay. Cupid's copywriter.
Yeah. Well,
So tell us about yourself, and then we're going to Cupid's copyright your Tinder bio.
Okay, cool. So I am a middle school music teacher.
hell yeah.
Smart and funny.
Depends who you ask.
I guess.
Can sing
If
as
you
well as
ask
I
my
can
students,
dance.
they probably
Sorry,
would.
I'm going to let you finish. Go for it.
No, I guess it would just depend who you ask. If you ask my students, they think I'm not funny at all, but I think I'm pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, well, if
I
it's
do say
middle
so
school,
myself, but-
that's an
That's
uphill
hard.
battle.
That's really hard.
So that's what I do for a living. I am. This is so weird.
What's
but,
your bio? Go ahead.
I really. Oh, what's my bio right now? Okay, hold on. Let me pull these up.
Sorry, yeah,
Okay,
Will.
I'm not gonna
Sorry,
lie,
I'm gonna have to just address something in the studio. Will has suddenly pulled out his phone, looked for his keys, and had an issue.
No.
Will?
I'm
he's
looking
looking through
for
photos.
I'm looking for a funny old Tinder bio that I recently stumbled across that I screenshotted that is an example of what not to do. So
Will,
I'm
we're
gonna
doing made to order here. Okay, we're not
understand.
recycling.
I know
We're not-
this is. I think it's a funny and it's relevant and I was waiting for her to get into what's
who
your
she
deal,
is.
what are
Okay,
you
got
looking
it.
for? I'm
All
trying
right.
to.
Will, keep it up. You still have that thunder you were rolling from earlier.
Thank you.
Still got a little bit of good credit in the bank. Keep telling us about. So you're a middle school teacher, and your students think you're not funny.
Yes, 100%. My current bio, at least on Tinder, is I'm a sucker for a good pickup line, and then that one emoji that's like the tongue sticking out with like kind of a winky eye.
Okay.
And that's it.
okay.
That's all I've gotten there because
So-
I just kind of like went along with it.
So here's the thing about that.
Mm.
You are saying, hey, freaking rain down your bad pickup lines down on me. And then it's the onus is on you to be able to have to parse through those to try to find someone that's worth kissing French style.
Right. Well, here I've got an allegory for this
True.
because I'm sort of anti-dating app, but then I was like, I'm going to run this little experiment about I'm going to construct the stereotypical perfect male gaze, a dating app that would supply the male gaze. And so I do like all these hot photos, and then what was my bio? Oh, hot and bothered was my bio. And like, I hate like the Kardashians or something. Just like trying to be like belly of the beast patriarch. I'm there. I'm like Alex Cooper.
Whoa.
That might be too controversial.
You
Might have to
are
take that out.
a dating anthropologist.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to see how that went. And I hate to say this.
It worked.
It worked. I had like 100% retention rate. Yeah. But I don't think you should. I don't think you should because it was so fucking sad. And like then I took it a step further and I was like, how would you describe women in one word to all of my matches? Was not good.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Wait, so you
Oh.
essentially
God.
you catered your. That's an amazing experiment that you ran. You catered your dating app to be like I'm sort of like almost a, for lack of a better term, pick me.
Right.
You catered it to be like, all right, like it's not necessarily Rainie. This is a character almost.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. And then you found a bunch of bad people match
And
you.
literally my family and friends had to be like, Rainie, this isn't really funny and it's making you really sad. Like you should stop.
When did you do this?
I did this like a year ago. And I actually did find, I dated somebody from that experiment, but I don't think he even read like the thing. He was pretty nice actually.
Yeah, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, and what did you think the learning is from that?
So the learning is, here's the thing. You can orchestrate the dating apps to go in your favor, but at what cost?
Yeah, you can cater yourself to be something that people might want.
Yeah.
but it's still not you. So when you find those people, they might not be what you want.
Yeah, and I've spent a lot of time on dating apps. I've dated people from them. I definitely don't think they're evil.
You're sort of a bachelor.
Famously.
Famously.
And
Making salmon for all the girlies in Glendale.
that's right.
If somebody made me salmon, I'd like that.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Miles likes to talk about me making salmon for every meal. It's like it's just the funniest thing to him in the world. I honestly don't even know how to explain it.
It's
but
just because your kid. It's like one time I went over to your house and there was like old tinfoil from salmon
Yeah.
you made.
Yeah,
And it
that's
just-
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
But I would say that your current bio is just like filler to me,
Yeah.
which is no, like, I don't mean, like, it just doesn't tell me anything about you. And do you actually like good pickup lines? Because gotta tell you, being on the apps, you just get used to every like opening conversation thing. And they're all so basic. Like, my recommendation in general is to put more of your actual personality into it, which, like Rainie said, maybe you don't try to cater to just like give men what they want.
Yeah.
But you're not going to want to go on a date with you don't want to match with everybody.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you want to be like,
Right.
at least in some way, this person has something in common with me. My feeling on dating apps though, in general, is that it's like an unpaid internship. You don't know if you're going to get the job. You don't know if you want the job, you know? There's
That's
a lot
funny.
of work that goes into it. You have to schedule all this shit, and then people are gonna bail on you at the last minute because the first plan that gets canceled is the plan from a dating app. Like people love to schedule a date and then cancel it and watch watch Great British Bake Off and be like, sorry, I'm sick or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes you got to commute. Sometimes you got to
Right.
spend a little bit of your own cash.
So there's work involved in this process, and I think that you're right to want to maximize it. But the other thing is, what you write matters so much less than just getting on a date with somebody who seems all right and then sussing out the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I
I've
agree.
got a great one.
Right.
I've got
Yeah.
a great bio because I remember this because one of our coworkers, she's famous for doing this, and I was like, that's a good app. So, okay, I actually have two. One, wait, let me think of it. I just lost it. Oh, one, I have a track record for the girl after you date me, you'll marry her.
The girl after you date me, you'll marry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like a good luck Chuck's situation.
Yeah. And so people are going to be like, oh, this is low stakes. I just at least have to meet this person.
Yeah, because they're like, this is the good luck charm.
Yeah.
It's sort of a an Almost Famous.
Yeah, I think that's a fine. I don't know. It depends on the app you're on. Obviously, like Tinder doesn't give you that much of an opportunity to say that much. But like, say something.
We can reword it.
You don't have to say anything about your actual interest, but just like
I actually disagree with that. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that people like vulnerability sharing and embarrassing little story sharing.
Sure,
Picture
yeah.
a dating bio that was
Ooh.
one time I shit my pants at camp.
That's funny.
That's good.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it doesn't have to be that because poop. But I do think that like sharing a little bit of yourself
Yes.
in an embarrassing way is kind of really fun.
Yeah.
Like I still don't know how to, parallel park.
I believed in Santa until I was 15.
Believed in
or
Santa until I was
whatever.
15. Like it shows more about what you're about, and then people are gonna be like, "No way, that's so funny, me too," or like they're gonna start the conversation with an embarrassing fact about themselves. So, what is an embarrassing fact about yourself that you'd be comfortable letting people know that lets them into your world a little bit, not too much? Nothing like I accidentally, shoved someone down an escalator and they died, but something that's gonna let us into your world a little bit.
If I saw that bio, though, I would laugh. I would laugh.
Yeah.
I if all it said was I accidentally shoved someone into an escalator and died,
I wouldn't like that.
I would think that's funny.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I tend to like the bios that are like there are people in LA who are like art girls who are like doing weird shit and then just like have and they're just like their profiles are always really insane.
Yeah.
You're as the middle school music teacher, that's not the vibe I'm getting from you, but you could pivot to being goth. That's always an option.
Yeah. So tell us about your embarrassing life.
True. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I mean, I have a shitting story, but you said to just X-nay that, so I'm not going to do that.
That's more for the DMs. Once they get into the DMs, you can give that.
Okay. All right, I got to give them like a little taste first. Okay. Let's see. Well, I can't parallel park, even though I go to the city a whole lot. And it's always really embarrassing whenever people are watching you parallel park, and then you just kind of like have to give them that really awkward wave as you're doing it. Anyways, that's beside the point.
Here, we'll give you some ideas.
Yeah.
Go around and say you're embarrassing.
Ooh,
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't put this in a dating app, but I did at one point eat a 2-day-old burrito out of my car.
That's kind of good though.
Mm.
I ate a 2-day-old.
Oh yeah,
burrito.
for the dating app. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of good.
Like-
to say. No, it's not good to do, Rainie.
No,
It's foul to do. It's foul
even
to do, and
good.
Will's foul for saying that. But I think that it lets
and
people.
I was fine.
and it lets people.
Well-
it lets people know who you are. It lets people know who you are.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, define fine.
Yeah, because Will always is complaining about his IBS.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm just saying I didn't have
Yeah.
any different IBS symptoms than I normally do.
well, maybe the issue is that it's recurring IBS.
It's
'cause you
not
eat
from
2-day.
the old burrito thing was a one-time deal.
This is
Look,
foul, by the way.
My point is, and it had cheese and bacon. Anyway, it was a delicious burrito.
Jesus Christ.
but
was it cold outside?
Did it have
yes,
eggs?
it was.
summer?
Cold. We've talked about this a bunch. It was cold outside. It was wrapped up in
No.
foil.
Your story's changing because last time you said it was in LA.
It was in LA, and it was cold. It was during the winter. It was like 40 degrees. It was not cold enough to be a fridge, but it was cold enough to not have the cheese turn.
Counselor, move on.
But I would say that like my main dating, like I think what you write, we can have fun. You know, I do think an embarrassing anecdote is like a good way in. Because what's hard as a man on a dating app is like you're trying to think of a unique way to start a conversation with somebody, right? And you want to be able to like actually, because to me it just sucks to be like, hey, you know, hey, how you doing? Like
So,
that's not helpful. We're not getting anywhere with that on the dating app.
Rainie, what would your embarrassing fact be?
Well, I will say, preface this by J.K. Rowling sucks and she's ruining everything.
Of course.
But I did, before all that came out, I did go to a Harry Potter camp until past the time that I was allowed. And they let me be a prefect.
That's so
How old
fucking
were you?
funny.
How old are you when you were a prefect?
Rainie, that's a great dating app.
That is actually a good dating
Bio.
app. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I got kicked out of Harry Potter camp for being too old. Like short, succinct, to the point.
Yes.
It's like sort of true. It's
Yeah.
sort of, you know, like, and then people are just like, oh my God, what was that like?
Well,
and you're
'cause
just like, I know, LOL. Like,
Well, and that's the thing. Like, you'll get people responding, wanting to know the story because
Exactly.
you've created like an interest in like you've said an anecdote, but the people want more details.
Yeah.
So like, I think what you want to create a bio where people are going to be like, oh, it's easy for me to start a conversation with this person.
Yeah.
And of course, there are many like inept men out there who don't know how to do this, who don't really know how to start a conversation. So you want to make it as easy as possible.
Okay, so the first thing that's popping into my head is that I've broken one of my toes multiple times because I'm so clumsy that I just walk into shit all the time.
that's
So
fantastic.
I've like broken the same toe a couple times.
So clumsy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like I may have broken my bones, but I'm gonna
Bone you.
I'm gonna bone you.
Great.
Or something
Oh.
along the lines of like
Don't say that.
clumsy like Bella Swan, sexy like Edward.
Perfect. I already changed it. Like, I already updated my bio. Literally, I just saved it. So,
I'm team Edward Norton. That's not bad either.
That's just a good joke.
Anyway, so tell us about your because we're gonna deal with this one succinctly. The maid of honor. That's more of a maid of
Dishonor.
that. Hey man, gold star. Keep it up. Honestly, just your bio being an emoji is not bad either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
radical emoji, tongue out.
The one thing I would say to avoid for my own personal pet peeves, don't say you want to go on an adventure. When I was in Austin, everyone was like, take me on an adventure. And it's like, what do you mean? You want to go to the bar?
Yeah, it's
No,
like
see, well,
Right.
they didn't mean that.
No,
I
that
guess
is
we
what they
could
meant, though.
we could drive to the woods.
Yeah, like, is that what you want on a first date? You want to drive like 2 hours with a stranger to
Let's
the
go
woods?
on an adventure, baby. Putting on Fleet Foxes and driving to the Appalachian Mountains.
I thought you were going to say the Apple store.
That's even better. Putting on Fleet Foxes and driving to the Apple store. Come on, baby. Let's look at the iPads.
That's so
They've got a
funny.
new M.M chip in them. They're more powerful than ever. Let's get a Dippin' Dot.
Don't say you want to go on an adventure. Don't talk about Jim and Pam. Those are the two
There's
cliches.
a really funny sketch of this guy who's just like, hey, I'm like Jim from The Office. Like, I love The Office. It's so funny. Like, it's just him talking about The Office for a while. That's enough, guys. Let's tell us about the maid of honor.
Okay, so I am in a wedding for my friend from college, and she has a childhood friend.
Mm.
Oh, I know. It's fantastic. She's great. Oh, by the way, I set them up, by the way.
Oh, that's
her
fantastic.
fiance.
Nice.
That's so satisfying.
Yeah.
And you're not the maid of honor?
And no, I am not. And even though I was, okay, I have to tell you this story. So we were at a bar, and my friend was like feeling all self-conscious, even though she's gorgeous and it's annoying. But she saw him from across the way and was like, he's really cute. And I looked at her, I was like, go talk to him. And she's like, no, I can't do it. So I was feeling like really extroverted that night, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I walked up to him and I like poked him on the shoulder and was like, hey, my friend thinks you're cute. And he was like, oh, cool. Like, let's go get some drinks at the bar. And so that's how they met. And now they're engaged and they're getting married.
That's so awesome.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
That's good. Sometimes you can't just
Yeah.
meet rogue at a bar. You know what I mean? Couple shots of Jaeger, couple
Yeah.
Long Island iced teas, and before you know it, you're tying the knot in front of God.
Is that fucking?
Anyway, tell us about the maid of honor.
Okay, so she is her childhood friend. So they've been friends ever since they were itty bitty. And she just like is really, what's the right word? Possessive, I guess, of our friend.
Okay.
Anytime that like anybody else brings up any sort of like story about her, it always has to revert back to her friendship with her. And then she just like will dog on everybody else and just drag everybody else's stories down and like basically make their friendships look less than what their friendship is because they've known each other longer.
Yeah. This is an insecure person.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You're
getting.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like 1000%. And she, for some reason, just does not care for me. And I know she does not care for me because she's literally talked shit about me to the other bridesmaids.
Yeah.
And so I know I have to deal with her for like a really, really long time after this because I'm knocking on wood that I'm going to be friends with my friend for a really long time. And so I'm just trying to come up with some ways to not go off on her to avoid like any sort of tension, especially leading up to the wedding. Because think of Bridezilla, but the maid of honor version, where she's just like super controlling. Yeah, she's a maidzilla. Like
She sounds
MOH
terrible.
Zilla.
Yeah, she does sound
like
terrible.
sucks.
But
I mean, yeah.
So it's bad.
yeah, that does sound like a
It's so
real
bad.
poo-poo banana sandwich. But I think that what you're going to want to do here, I think that people like this who are just insecure and that's the driving force, if you can be really nice to them and then when they say something passive aggressive to you, just you can ask them, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?" Like, one-on-one, like
Yes.
not in front of a group, like
Yes.
performatively. But if you just are nice to them, you can only control what you can do. And this person might be a fucking train wreck, but ultimately, them being a train wreck and being embarrassing, I'm sure that your friend probably knows that this person is like this. Because people generally know when their friends are, oh, that's just how she is. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, she's fucking weird. She's just being insecure. I think that what you can do is ask them directly if they say something nasty to you or like, oh my God, like, yeah, I don't know. Like they say something kind of weird. Just be like, hey, I just wanted to check in. Are we okay? Like, are you good?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, I think especially
Yeah.
with people who are passive aggressive like that.
Confronting them in a soft way.
Yeah, if you're kind and you're just like checking in, and I think like Miles said, key thing is not in front of a group is to like pull them aside and be like,
Right.
and be like, hey, you said this. It made me worry that like we're not okay. I wanted to check in with you.
Yeah.
Like then that puts the onus on them. And like even if she is like annoyed with you, like directly confronted with you being like kind of a dick, I don't know what you're supposed to do other than be like, oh, sorry. Or she'll have an opportunity to be like, kind of vulnerable. But either way, you're staving it off at the pass.
Yeah. And you can kind of just tell her, I'm not trying to overstep. I'm sorry if you got the wrong idea. And give her a compliment too. Like people like this who are insecure really be like, oh, by the way, I thought all of your planning was so wonderful. I'm just wondering if I can help, even if it sucked. Because it's just ultimately you just want to stave off this thing and you're going to look better in the long term if you just do it in a nice way. And this person may nuclear melt down. And when that happens, you're going to be there looking at the reactor explode, thinking it's all because of my work. Yeah. Will was in my groomsmen party and he just talked shit. And he was he was toxic.
All of those people are so nice.
I know, it's like the least confrontational people ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I think you're gonna get through it. Ultimately, just know that you have the upper hand by not being unstable.
Exactly. Yeah. And you're better than her, and you have to know it in your heart.
And you have to know it in your heart, and that way, when you act and you're frustrated by her, just be like, she's a fucking insect.
Yeah.
You don't need to. It doesn't warrant a big reaction.
You should actively dehumanize her.
Because she is an insect. Insects still deserve love. You shouldn't be frying them with a freaking magnifying glass.
Oh, I disagree.
But we'll love to do that, by the way.
No. I was just thinking about, when you said fry, I was thinking about the crickets in Mexico City, the chapulines. I really want to eat those. Fried grasshoppers, I think. That's what they are. It's supposed to be great.
Taking away a gold star.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for calling in. You're absolutely the best. You're going to get out there, dominate the dating apps, dominate this bridal party.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be better for it because we've changed our life here today.
I agree.
You did change my life. This was life-changing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in, Pumpkin. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Pumpkin.
Everyone who calls in's my little pumpkin. Well,
Oh my God.
well, before we get to the Get Real, is there anything, any other things you guys wanted to discuss on the docket?
I don't think so. I mean, did Rainie have a thing? I don't know.
Do you have a thing?
No. I think we can do. Well, do you have a plan for Be Real? 'Cause I can also
Get Real.
Get Real.
Or being sued actively. Did you have a plan?
Well, I have some ideas, but but you can also do it if you've got it.
I think, they were all loose ideas, but I'm honestly more interested in what you had to say.
Okay. So, my first question, I've got sort of a series of introspective questions for my little older brothers.
Whoa.
My professional older brothers.
That's right. I'm honored. Marry, fuck, kill, hope, jealousy, and love.
Okay, so me and my friend have this thing every year. We decide what's our word of the year. So, for example, hers is hot because she's going to be hot this year.
Yeah.
Just talking to my roommate about it. His is creative because he's like a comp sci boy who's like, I'm trying to get into makeup. Mine is gentle. I want to be gentle. I want to grow my avocado tree.
Yeah.
You want to stomp your big feet on the floor?
No. I know that happened, and I was like, "This is not gentle." Nobody here is being
Rainie's
gentle.
word. Yeah, no one is. They are not in the hallway being gentle to you.
Yeah, and I want to like soften. So I'm curious about what your word of the year is.
Wow, my word of the year. I mean, a lot has happened to me this year. I had a baby. I'm a father. I feel my life moving forward, and I'm wondering if that word. I think I want my word to be like onward, like it's a future, a forward, upward, like moving my life, continuing forward, change. You know, positive change. I think is good. Change for a change's sake is not good though. Evolving. I think evolution or evolving is probably going to be my
Maybe
word.
your word of the year should be Digivolution.
Digivolution?
From Digimon.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying it right. It's like
Digimon, Digivolution.
What does that mean? Is it the same?
It's just, so you know Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know Digimon.
Yeah. It's what happens when a Digimon evolves.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll sort of brought it up. But yeah, I think Digivolution, I just feel like a lot of things are changing in my life, and I'm trying to embrace them, and I'm also trying to I'm trying to keep going. And I think that as things like with my baby, I was like, whoa. And that has been interesting because I feel like at first it was very sudden, and then I felt it was like a sudden burst of change. And then I was like, oh yeah, like I don't necessarily feel any different even though my life has changed. And then I feel like I lurched forward in just being like, whoa, I'm in a sort of new stage. I mean, lots of things are the same. And I think that's one thing that I love is that I'm fucking keeping it real, 100 all the time. My grind set has never been more powerful. But I do feel, I feel like things are moving kind of onward and upward, and that's very exciting to me. So Digivolution.
Yeah, I have a hard time picking a serious word here. I can only think of joke responses.
And let's dive into that.
So yeah, my first joke idea was constipated. No, I'm kidding.
Hey Will, this is the Get Real.
I know. You
don't have to. The facade of sort of Will, we can abandon it at the door.
Well, I kind of like gentle because I've been, I did a weird thing this week where I did an in-person therapy session between two-way glass, and there were other therapists watching the session. And then we switched places, and then they after 30 minutes, and they commented on what I was saying, and
wait, what was this an experiment for UCLA?
Yeah, I was no. I basically the place I do therapy is a sliding scale place, and which means that the counselors are still getting their hours, so they're not fully certified yet. And as a result of that, this is evaluating my therapist thing. Yeah. But they just talked about what I said, and everybody was like, "Yeah, I really resonate with Will," and it was nice to hear that I'm not alone in some of the things that I struggle with,
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think my word is I like gentle because it's like I would like to be gentler to myself and, smoother around the edges, kind of.
Yeah, I think so too.
But maybe it's lame to pick the same word.
No, hey, there's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. So
I'm gifting it to you. You can be gentle too.
Like, I would like to be gentler to myself.
I think so.
To get where I want to go.
I'll tell you this, Will. I think you could be gentler to yourself too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that you're hard on yourself sometimes.
Thanks.
And you're a little sweetie pants with a heart of gold. And,
that's nice.
People love you. And I think that sometimes you give yourself a hard time.
I do give myself a hard time. But they did say between the two-way glass, they're like, he's sort of like jovial, even though he's talking about how he's not doing that well. And I was like,
well, no, sure. Yeah. You're popping a mask. You're popping a mask on even for the therapist.
Yeah.
So they're still therapists in training.
Yeah. Well, like she's a therapist in training and they're like more qualified. So they're like, yeah.
So she's like, that's really interesting. You should get a gun. Just giving you insane advice.
She's Australian. Side note, it's always so funny to me that Rainie is an introvert. Do you think that's funny? I think it's funny.
Do you identify as an introvert?
Big, like in a big
Bigly.
way. Bigly.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that
That's
crazy?
so fascinating because to me you are so good at facilitating a large group conversation.
Thank you. Well, I think it might be because I've practiced it consciously.
Yeah.
It's not like I will say like nobody knows. And then my roommate moved. Well, I was friends with him before. And then when he moved in, he was like, oh shit, like you definitely, like you want to spend time. I think he was surprised.
You want to spend solitary time thinking with your own thoughts.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah. I
couldn't be me.
Funny is as I have gotten older, I actually, when I took the ENFP, the Myers-Briggs, when I took the Myers-Briggs when I was in high school or whatever, I was 20 to 0 extroverted to introverted. I was maximum extroverted.
Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten older, and perhaps wiser, I just have the parts of me that need not to recharge because I love being with big groups, but I think I like to tinker and be with my own thoughts and be with my own little
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think I went from
things.
in a similar way. Like I'm a crazy extrovert and I still am, but as I've gotten older, I appreciate time to do my own thing as well, more than I did. I think I used to be afraid to be alone, especially in college. You're just trying to spend every moment with all of your friends, and it's just that's great, but I don't need that now. But my thing is I think it's hard to build community in LA, and so that's why if you're have you made a home here? It's I think some people really struggle to build to replace what would have been if we used to live in small villages.
Yeah.
You're getting way less attention and community here.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that it can be really hard for people to forge new connections with strangers. So
it's also hard to text. It's hard to text people and make plans, and that's so important.
Oh,
but it's really hard to motivate to do that. Anyway. We are
sorry.
No, it's fascinating conversation. Look, we're gabbing like old chums because we are old chums.
That's right.
And anyway, where can people find you, Rainie?
It's Raining Toll on Instagram, Rainie Toll on Twitter, and then I'm should I plug my TikTok?
Absolutely.
On TikTok.
Oh, that's right. You have the hardest, most complicated.
She's got to change that.
Why don't you have? Why don't you?
4M's.
Why don't you have It's Raining Toll on TikTok?
Well, for a while I didn't want to be found, but I'm being found. I'm being discovered, a la Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born.
You posted a TikTok, and we're happy it got 10,000 views.
Rainie's viral.
But
impossible to find. But Will, where can people find you?
You can find me at Witwer on Instagram and Twitter. I, of course, will be doing a big post on September 5th. I'm going to share, Miles, what I want to do right after this record.
September 5, baby.
It's coming up, and I'm hoping to have...
It's not. It's 5 bucks.
I'm hoping to have a fun March-related post in the next week.
Oh, shit.
So look out for that.
Look out for
You want
that.
to take it after this recording?
No, I can't do it after this.
Classic.
All right, everybody. We hope you're out there and you're freaking driving in your little Prius and you're having a great day. And I just want to let you know that perfection is only a call away.
And if you're a bridezilla...
That was a Headgum podcast.